Celine, what are your sources telling you?
Jane, sources are telling us that there are no suspects at this point. We do know she had a boyfriend. Her boyfriend is a high school student. We've seen her, posting photos on social media with her and her boyfriend. But the police are telling me that he is cooperating with them and that he is not a suspect at this point. They also tell me that she was a good kid, well-liked, good student, and that this is very out of character for her. Now, we don't know what the police say. They don't know what she was wearing when she went missing, but that they do know that she did have her cell phone on her, which means, Jane, as you know, we cover all these stories all the time. They can trace her with the cell phone ping, so the detectives are definitely looking at that today.
Well, let's take a look at the timeline right now. As you mentioned, she had her cell phone with her. She was last seen at her grandparents' house last Tuesday night, March 11th, at around 9:45 p.m. Her grandfather says she told him she was going to visit a friend. She never made it there. It was almost a full day until Danielle's grandfather called police to report her missing. 2 days after Danielle vanished, March 13th, Danielle's mother says some of her daughter's clothes were found in a creek. Allegedly the same creek where kids from the high school go to hang out. Could there be something suspicious? And I'll throw this to Mark Klass, founder of Klass Kids Foundation. Could there be something suspicious about waiting more than 14 hours to tell cops your granddaughter's missing?
Well, in the best case scenario, it's a grievous error. He needs to notify law enforcement as soon as he realizes she is missing, which would have been after he contacted the friend and found out that she wasn't with the friend. I'm very concerned, Jane, about the fact that they found her clothes near this creek, and this is a hard-running creek. This looks like rivers that I've seen, and this wouldn't be the first time a child has fallen into a river or a hard-running creek and been washed down shore.
Yeah, but there are so many aspects to this, and I want to go out to my panel, but first let me give you another very important fact. Danielle's mother, as you mentioned, found her clothes along a creek where the kids hang out. The creek is less than a mile from her grandfather's house where she's been living. But police say they have information that Danielle may have been in an RV campground about 5 miles from where she lives. Now, they wouldn't tell us when she was there or who told them that she was seen there. In fact, local police aren't giving us much information at all.
We do not know at this particular time what has happened to Danielle or where she is.
If she was at an RV camp at some point last week, she probably didn't walk there. It's 5 miles from her home. So Wendy Murphy, former prosecutor, you've covered so many of these cases. She could have gotten a ride from somebody. My question is, was that ride from a friend or a stranger? Should they take that whole campground apart to see if she's there?
Yeah, I mean, the problem with that bit of evidence, Jane, is we can't connect the timeline dots between when she was at the RV campground and when she disappeared and when she was at the river's edge, if ever. I mean, we don't know whether she was at the water's edge ever or just her clothes were found there. We don't know whether the clothes were found in a condition that adds suspicion. You know, were there any biological materials, DNA, blood? Were they removed? Are they torn in any way? There's so much that we need to know to be able to connect those dots. But make no mistake, if she was seen anywhere in the days around the day she disappeared, you can bet the cops are talking to everyone who saw her, as well they should be. And they're really pushing this grandfather because the amount of time spent between when he knew she was missing and when he reported her missing, that is creepy.
Well, let me say some things in the grandfather's defense. First of all, you say you're going to go visit a friend. Maybe he just took her word for it and figured that she went to visit her friend. It had no idea that she was missing until the next day. This is a weekday. She disappeared a Tuesday night, so maybe the timeline is that sometime on Wednesday she didn't show up at school, and that's when the grandfather realizes maybe she didn't come home from school. That would make